Hey everybody, John here from Freedom Kit, and I got a great question that would make a good topic for a video. How do you automatically respond back to customers inside Freedom Kit? Now that could be across text message and email, that could be across social media platforms, direct messages. How do you handle like frequently asked questions or simply giving a standard response to make sure people are hearing you? We're going to cover that here in this video. Let's go ahead and dive in. So where I'm at now inside of Freedom Kit is in our automation area, specifically the workflow section. This is where all the cool behind the scenes stuff happens that powers Freedom Kit. So what I want to show you is actually to highlight one of our pre-existing recipes called the recipe FAQ auto reply. I love teaching based on our recipes because this really opens up our mindset, not just of how to handle one situation, but to see how to handle multiple situations, and you can adapt it to your own needs. So let's dive into this one. I will create a sample workflow using this recipe by clicking on the select key. All right, it'll pull up our recipe. Now let's break down the anatomy of what's happening here. So we have not one, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different triggers. What does that mean? Let's click into one of them and understand. So for example, we've given you some ways of understanding it: a new Instagram direct message, a new Facebook message, a new Google message, and a new chat widget message. So if I click into this, I'll see what I'm really using is the workflow trigger called customer replied. In other words, somehow a customer's reached out to your business as it's set up inside of Freedom Kit. Now, what this has done to make sure it knows it's a Facebook message is we've applied a filter, which means it is a Facebook Messenger channel. So as we've described before in previous videos, our conversations view is not just an email inbox. It's not just a text message inbox. It's an omni-channel inbox that can handle any way you want to talk to your customers. We pretty much support it. Just to show you, here's all the different ways you could launch it. We just have some here in this example, all the way from a phone call, chat widget, email, Facebook message, Instagram DM, live chat using our live chat widget, SMS, text, and WhatsApp. So whichever way you want to talk to your folks, if they can send a message to you, it can initiate this workflow. Okay, so we just have that set up in several different ways. That was Facebook, but we have the same one, where it's the same workflow, customer replied, right? So we can see replied. And also, whenever you see one of these triggers, you can always look down below to see what it really means. This says runs when an incoming message is received from a contact. Okay, so that's exactly what we wanted to do here as an automatic reply. And you could even make it a bit fancier. So you could have the workflow only trigger when a specific phrase or an exact phrase is sent in. Let's just kind of walk you through that. We're going to add a new filter by clicking here, and now it knows that we're already dealing with that channel, so it's only going to give us the next set of filters that would make sense. So what it offers us is, does the message contain a specific phrase? Does the message doesn't have a tag? This is a very common one if there's an exact match phrase. So for example, if you say, hey, send us a text message with the number 1234 in the message, then we will send over our ebook or something like that. You could easily make a workflow that is looking for a chat widget, saying that phrase, and then you can do whatever you want afterwards. We also have something that we won't focus on too much in this video because it's a bit more of an in-depth topic, but we even have something called intent type, which is really cool. So we can actually automatically for you parse whether the message is negative or positive. So you could, for example, ask them, did you have a great experience with our product? And they will understand, yeah, yes, absolutely, as being positive. They'll understand, nope, or hated it, or I want my money back. They'll recognize all that as being a negative reply. But again, I don't want to get too deep into that aspect. That shows you those different triggers, which is all different ways of implementing the customer replied workflow trigger. All right, so now just to walk through the rest of this workflow, we then are going to analyze the message. Now, because here we have multiple different channels that are starting this workflow, it made sense just from an efficiency perspective. Instead of filtering down the message in each one individually, we're going to have them all flow in and check the condition once and for all. So it's going to say if the message contain the phrase you located, meaning like where are you located, or I guess that's pretty much all you could really do, because again, this is an FAQ, a frequently asked questions, like where are you located. So if it asks that, if that phrase is inside the message, it will go down this path. If it is not, it'll go down that path. In other words, if they just say hello, these messages are coming through, but on the condition, when it asks, does it have the phrase where are you located? No, they just said hello. So nothing's going to happen. So that's kind of how that works there. Otherwise, they're going to go into this branch where it's going to then send out a text, a messenger, Instagram DM, or a Google message back to them. And this is set up because the message is going to come in some way, somehow. And so we're going to reply back in the same way. So as an example here, let's pretend this was an Instagram direct message. Then when they reply back, you're going to reply back, hey, I'm a bot. We're located at this location right next to the library, just as an example. So that is a pretty quick walkthrough of how we can handle automatic replies. You can get really creative with this. You can have multiple conditions. So you could say, all right, you could add additional branch where we're going to add a branch here. And we could say if the replied message contains hours. So we might ask, what are your hours of operation? Let's save that. And I should also probably name it. So let's click into this. So you see here, you can name all these different branches so you can kind of keep it straight in your head if it gets complicated. So we could say message contains hours. And now you could create a different reply. You could, for example, I'm going to copy this and I'll paste it there. And now we could have a different one here saying our hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. Save action. And so you can see how this can easily build out to being a quick, frequently asked questions workflow that can take a lot of time off of your team and put more focus on closing sales and serving your customers at a higher level. Hope this video was helpful. See you in the next one.